All right, there are a couple of major mistakes that are extremely common when people are trying to gain muscle. So let's talk about this, guys and gals. All right, the things that people oftentimes do get right, most people are willing to do sufficient volume. If anything, they tend to want to do more volume than they really need to gain the muscle they need to gain for the level of experience that they're at. So that's usually not it. It's not the case of most people, well, I'm just not willing to go to the gym enough once they decide they want to gain muscle, right? Or they want to make improvements like that. The issues tend to be twofold in nature. Number one, people simply do not push sets hard enough, okay? And there's studies on that showing that that's the case. Number two, people do not understand and apply the principle of progressive overload. And these are really critical because these 2 points, we oftentimes see them both being neglected. These are the 2 points that all the experts argue about as to which one is the most important. Okay, so this is where all the debates, most of the debates you see in the lifting world, even in the evidence-based world, the coaching world, people argue with for thousands of hours back and forth, are those 2 things as to which one is actually the driver of growth, which one matters the most, where should our efforts be. Like, this is the biggest, longest lasting argument over and over and over. So see where we're going? If these are considered that people stand around arguing for years about whether we need to be taking sets really close to failure, like so intensity per set, or whether we need to be focusing on progressive tension the most, progressive overload, that's the driver of muscle mass. If you're ignoring both, that's why you're not making gains. But we need to be clear, that's very, very straightforward. So those are the 2 biggest points. People tend to neglect both. So what we frequently see, we see people come in and on their work sets, what do? They come in and they go, well, I went till it hurt, till it burned a little bit. Well, your idea of burning could just be a pump. And that very often is the case. Okay? You get that, and here's what people don't get. If a hype man can give you more reps, if anger can give you more reps, this is a problem. Right? In other words, if you're really having a bad day, let's say you've been able to take whatever, 100 pounds on a lift, let's call it 100, and you've been able to do 10 reps on it, right? And it feels hard, like, man, I get a good burn on that. That's hard. But you're really angry about something. You're having one of those days, and you're like, I'm just going to take it out on the set and keep going, and you get 15. Ooh, people aren't going to like what I'm about to say. You get 15. That means you haven't been stimulating any muscle growth for months. Okay? In other words, if you can psychologically push yourself to with good form to get 5 more reps because you're angry or something's happening, you're under duress and you just take it out on it. And you're able, even physically able to do the extra 5. Through adrenaline or something. You literally have been completely wasting your time up till that point. I'm not saying you didn't gain anything, but it's going to be relatively minuscule. You are not training hard at all. Because you should be able to do that without any hype. Like that shouldn't even be a thing. People who are used to lifting can take sets to failure calm. Like once you're used to this, there's no hype required, no anger. Same thing, if I come in and I'm yelling at you and you got a hype man and you're able to get 5 more reps, and it's not because they're touching the bar. If they're touching and helping, that doesn't count. But if someone's able to motivate you to get 5 more reps through come on or pushing or hype or cheering, that means you have not been training hard. You're not taking sets close to failure. Your set quality sucks. It means your set quality sucks. This is why you're not making gains. You're just simply not training hard. Because you shouldn't psychologically be able to just do more. You should be able to calmly come in and do that 15 then regularly. That also means you probably don't have enough weight on the bar then on top of it, or the machine or whatever. All right, then we come to that progressive overload. You don't change the stimulus, you stay the same. By changing the stimulus, it doesn't mean, we need to change 17A, we got to shock the muscles. No, you need progression. Right? Improve mechanical tension, whether it's through repetitions, whether it's through weight, mechanical loading, because repetitions do it too, right? As more fatigue is accrued, we get mechanical tension on more and more muscle fibers. Like, this is understood. This is understood. We know this is how it works. Okay? We know this is how it works. It's, again, been demonstrated in the human body. But the whole point is the mechanical tension on the muscles does have to increase over time. All right, and we've all seen that. How many people come in and they use the same weight for the same 3 sets of 10 for years. And notice they don't change. Now, if you're happy with where you are, that's fine. Okay, you're like, I'm already stacked. I already look like Arnold Schwarzenegger. I'm just going to leave 315 on the bar for 3 sets of 10. Okay, well, that's okay, because you're happy with where you are. You're not seeking to make any changes or any improvements. Now, does that mean to add that weight that you need to cheat and swing or cut range of motion? No, but the muscles themselves need to be subjected to a higher tension. So that tension is going to need to come eventually in the form of more weight, more resistance, using the same form. So if you've been cheating X amount, you're going to have to continue to cheat that amount to gauge that, right? The range of motion you've been using is probably what you need to be doing, so you don't need to be shortchanging stretch positions to put more weight, so on. But if that's what you've been doing that whatever half rep, that's fine. It's going to need to get heavier while maintaining that same half rep. You don't want to go to a 40% rep. All right. And I'm not telling you to do half reps per se. But you get the idea, guys. That tension has to increase. If it doesn't, then we got a problem. Same thing, if your sets are nowhere near failure, that tension better be increasing all the time then. So we come back to that this is the debate people make on the tension. But plenty of people stay far from failure and make great gains by just increasing the load continually all the time for years on end. Sure, that will, in theory, work. But that load's going to have to go up. Any way you break it down, either sets are going to have to go to failure or close to failure, or the load's going to have to increase, or you are not going to gain significant amounts of muscle. All right, guys, but that's really all I have to say on that today. I hope it's been informative, and I'll talk to you guys and gals next time.